Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. My previous video was a what's in my bag video. I will link the video down below, and in that video I showed you the mess that was inside my bag, and I also mentioned there that I wanted to make a new organizer for my bag because the one that I was using in that video was not really efficient. Now, to make this new bag organizer, I will actually be using needlepoint canvas. This is a material that I have seen before when I was a child because my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, used to do all sorts of needlework. But I have never heard of anyone using this material to make a bag organizer. So here I have ordered a few sheets of it from an online store. I will share the link to purchase this in the description box. And I am just bending it over the other way so that it will be straight. And now this is the organizer that I have been using and which you have seen in my previous video. I made this gray one from the leftover material that I used when I made my organizer for the Kipling tote that I was using before. I will link videos of that bag and this organizer in the description box. Now, the seller of the needlepoint canvas has very generously included these stitch markers and some tapestry needles, which will come in handy later on. To begin, I will of course measure the bag. I want the organizer to go the entire width of the bag, which is 37 centimeters. But when it comes to the depth of the organizer, this previous bag organizer I made was only 9 centimeters deep. I no longer remember why I decided on 9 centimeters, but for this new organizer I'll try to maximize the space of the bag. So I will measure the floor of the bag from the inside because I want to not occupy the space that should be for the laptop compartment. This here is the floor of the laptop compartment, which is sewn completely, and if I measure the floor of the bag that excludes the floor of the laptop, then the organizer should be 13 centimeters across. Now I must cut the base of the bag organizer at this point, which should be 37 centimeters by 12. I deducted 1 centimeter just so the laptop can have a little bit more space when needed. After making the marks, I just cut the canvas with my scissors. This needlework canvas is just made of some semi-rigid plastic. You can bend it as you can see me doing earlier, but you cannot fold it into a sharp angle. I wanted a sharp angle, so I had to cut through to make all of the panels, and then I will just sew them all together. I have never been completely satisfied with the ready-made bag organizers available online or in physical stores. Either they were not the right size for my bag, or the compartments were off, which is why I just end up making my own bag organizers. I did have a bag organizer before that I bought ready-made and which I modified before I can be mostly happy with it. I will link that video down below. Now this needlepoint canvas is actually very easy to cut and it's very easy to measure, and you know you're always cutting in a straight line, no insecurities there. And because of the grid, they just line up almost automatically together. And I do love the grid. I love anything with a grid, and if you have been on my channel long enough, you will know that grid patterns and grid backgrounds really float my boat. To make the side panels, I had to measure the height of the bag, and basing on that, I decided that the organizer should be 21 centimeters tall, and that is how I cut all of the side panels to be. And now all of the panels are complete, it is time to stitch. I will be using this nylon thread that I use to bind the notebooks that I make by hand and sell to other people. I have videos about those notebooks, which I will link down below. This nylon thread is very, very sturdy and very tough. They have never broken on me by accident and have never broken on any of the people who use my notebooks. And I have already made a few hundreds of those notebooks over time. So I'm confident that this nylon thread will be a good material to use to assemble together the panels of the organizer. And now I am going to use one of the needles that the seller of the needlepoint canvas has sent as a freebie. I just knotted a knot at the beginning and then stitched like so. It is tedious because the thread has to go through every single hole on the grid pattern, but I took my time while I watched a few episodes of the second season of the Sex and the City spin-off. And then after all of the panels had been sewn together, this is how the bag organizer looks like. I like that the material is semi-rigid. It is rigid enough to provide structure to the bag, but it's still pliable enough. And it does fit inside the bag. The depth and the width are exactly correct, but it's just a little bit too tall. And it has to be shorter because the bag cinches near the top, which is why the organizer also kind of cinches at the top. The structure of the bag towards the top is cinching the organizer, so I have to trim that excess height off. I made the mark and then made the cut right here, and I just re-stitched the top part of the shell, not the whole thing, just the top part, and then I added knots. And then I added the panels for the different compartments by measuring my things and decided where they should go, and then deciding on the dimensions of each compartment afterwards. I was really pleased at this point to see how everything is at perfect right angles and everything is so straight. That is what a grid helps you to achieve. And every compartment is sewn all the way, including the bottom, because in my experience with organizers with compartments that have bottom panels that are not sewn, some items can wiggle through under there and end up on the next compartment. It is very annoying. But sewing this is so easy, even at the bottom. And then I just tried putting all of my stuff in it just to see that everything I need has its own place and all compartments are really the proper size, which is the whole point of a bag organizer. And now I just felt like I needed a finishing touch because the top edges of the organizer are a little bit sharp. They might scratch me by accident when I'm in a hurry, so I just used this white fluffy yarn to cover the edges of the organizer. I threaded the yarn through the needle and just did the usual stitch over. It's just an ordinary stitch over. Here finally is the finished bag organizer with all of the top edges covered by the fluffy white yarn. Now I know this can get dirty over time, and when that happens I can just remove the yarn and stitch a replacement as needed, maybe a different color, but for now I really like the white. I've never had a white interior in the bag before. Not that I can remember, so I will enjoy this white fluffy yarn for as long as I can. Inside the bag it looks very cute. The fluffy yarn makes the compartments of the bag organizer more visible, and it is decorative as well. And I can finally snip off this annoying thing, this annoying D-ring. It has fulfilled its purpose. Thank you very much, but it is time for it to go. I did not cut the fabric of the bag, so hopefully those holes that the thread went through will close up over time. Okay, now it is time to put everything back into the bag. My traveler's notebook that I use as a wallet and my coin purse now each have their own compartments. My battery pack will go into the same compartment as my iPhone cable, and my iPhone will also go into that same compartment, but I'm using my iPhone to film this video. My Kindle will have its own dedicated compartment right here, and this narrow pouch will go here. My eyeglasses, fragrance, disinfectant spray, deodorant will go here, but I don't need the aloe vera anymore. I kept it in my bag to use as a soft hold hair gel when I used to keep my hair in a ponytail, but I have short hair now. This holds my disposable straws, but I need to put straws in it. And finally, the reason why I can cut off that D-ring is because all of the things that used to be hooked onto it now have their own compartment in the bag organizer. In the outside zipped pocket will go the same things: pens, my lozenges, and my lip balm. I almost forgot about this tiny pouch, which will go right here, and also my sunscreen. Now, I did not make a compartment for this envelope because I really don't want to use this anymore. It has become a crutch for me to let papers build up into here. And that is everything I need without the laptop in the laptop compartment. The final test, of course, is to see if the laptop will still fit inside the bag. So here it is, which I always carry in its sleeve. I have always double bagged my laptops for many years. I do have an unboxing of this laptop on my channel, which I will link down below. And yes, the laptop fits. It's just exact, not loose, not tight. It fits. And now the bag just has a little bulge right here because of the small things that is inside this outside zipped pocket, but that's all right. The bag still zips closed even when it's completely full with the laptop in the laptop compartment. And this here is where my iPhone will go, together with the battery pack and the charging cable, like I said earlier. But for everyday use, I don't need to bring my laptop, so this is how the bag is going to be configured. And I like it a lot. So if you're thinking of making your own bag organizer, this is an idea that you can use. If you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up or a comment, and I hope you can also consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye.